Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mouse and Men, where we explore the grown-up side of Disney. I am one half of your co-cast and crew, Chris, coming at you with a little bit of a film review, episode review, TV episodic review from Disney Plus coming at you. As you see or hear, I am Bradley Less today. He's probably heading back from Disney World right now. I'm so jealous, but I'm so excited for he and his family. They got to experience that. So I thought I would throw together a quick episode just to give you a little bit of an encouragement today, and also a quick review that hopefully adds to that encouragement. It's like, if you're watching on video, it's just over my left shoulder here. It is Ed Sheeran's The Sum of It All. It's a new series that came out just a few days ago. If you're listening to this as it is released, it is in May of 2023. Came out just a few days ago. It's a 4-episode kind of documentary style of Ed Sheeran and his latest album, Subtract, that is coming out. And he's going on another world tour. And so this is kind of all the behind the scenes stuff of him. Disney Plus, really, I got to hand it to them. They have been doing a great job recently of different documentary style musical things, or just musical performances. I remember Elton John. It was like, what was it? Kind of it was live thing. I think it was Saying Goodbye to Dodger Stadium. Billie Eilish had one that was at the Hollywood Bowl. It was called Happier Than Ever, about her life in Los Angeles, I think. Bono and U2 from, Bono and the Edge from U2, along with David Letterman, had a series that came out just a couple months ago. And I'm really surprised that Bradley and I, knowing our shared love of U2, haven't talked about it here on the podcast. But a documentary style from their time in Ireland, and they kind of stripped down a lot of their songs. It's a really cool documentary. I'd love for Bradley and I to do a whole episode just on that. The Beatles Get Back. I mean, we did an episode on that over a year ago when it came out, I think in the fall or the early winter of 2021. Good grief, where am I at? And then, Taylor Swift had one. I think Miley Cyrus had one. So there's a lot of musical stuff to listen to and to watch on Disney Plus, which Bradley and I, being probably as big of music guys as we are Disney guys, we love when those two combine. I remember that's one of the things that we were saying when Beatles Get Back came out, was the fact that we could combine those two loves is always a nice thing. But getting back to Ed Sheeran and The Sum of It All, it's a 4-episode documentary. It's about 30 minutes long for each of the episodes. So I guess if you watched them all in all, it'd be about 2 hours worth of watching. I was really entertained. I really enjoyed it. I've liked Ed Sheeran for a long time, but I kind of just think of him as the cool Brit with the messy orange hair or red hair, with the little guitar and just the beatboxing and the music. I love that style of music. When I write my own music, it is similar in style to what Ed Sheeran does. So I was appreciative to learn a bit about his behind the scenes stuff. And I've seen him with a lot of celebrities, like the aforementioned Elton John, or hanging out with Courtney Cox in LA and doing all these things. And some of the people that he's worked with Eminem and Taylor Swift, got a close friendship with her, seemingly. But this doesn't go into any of that, although it does touch on the Eminem friendship a little bit, which is kind of cool. And a little bit of the Elton John friendship, which is also cool. But this is more about his behind the scenes life. And they did a really good job of talking about his family while never showing his daughters. I think he's got 2 children, 2 daughters. They're both pretty young, and so I guess they've chosen not to show their faces in the limelight or in public for safety concerns or reasons. But they do show his wife a lot, and some of the life circumstances and issues that they go into. And I won't spoil any of those things that you'll learn about when you watch the episodes, but it is an emotional ride. I did not expect it. I kind of expected it to be kind of like Ed Sheeran writing and rapping and singing and being in the studio and hanging out with his boys and touring around the world and all that kind of stuff. But it was a very intimate look at his life without being too intimate, which I thought was a cool thing. They explored everything from love, of how he fell in love with his partner. And I thought that their story was really cool. It kind of mirrors a lot of my relationship too, with having known each other for a really long time. And but also loss of the things that you don't normally hear from a pop musician, and especially the lost stuff, because Ed Sheeran, although he's got some very um, emotional songs, he's not necessarily an over emotional guy when you see him in public. He's usually kind of like, yeah, let's have some fun, let's have a good time, but not necessarily an emotional thing. But I think Subtract, the new album that's coming out, is more of a look at some of the for lack of a better word, the sadder things in life, the experience of loss and mourning and trying to move through life when you don't have all those in your corner that you used to. And that's a bit sad, but I thought it was very poignantly done. It was very appropriately done, I thought, and showed a nice flow through the entire series to find some resolution and some happiness on the back end of learning these life lessons, which are hard sometimes to learn. So I thought they did a really good job. I'm not going to, again, go into a lot of detail, and I'm going to make this short and sweet, hopefully, because I want you to hear this, get excited about it, and then go watch it, because it is a great ride. And I think that you enjoy, or I enjoyed learning more about Ed Sheeran, the person, versus Ed Sheeran, the singer-songwriter guy. And I really appreciated it. So for what it's worth, if you have 2 hours and you want to learn a bit more about Ed Sheeran, this is a great peel back the facade, behind the scenes look into his life from a way that I don't think that I've seen it before, because it gets real and the subject matter gets real. It doesn't get overly dramatic, but it talks about real life things. And again, you see someone like Ed Sheeran and all the accolades that he's gotten and all the awards and all of the #1 hits and I think that one of his songs, that maybe Shape of You, is maybe the most Spotify song ever at this point in history. And so, so many things that he's done that you would think that a guy like that has no problems. But he talks a lot about those issues, about now being a family man and moving into that stage of his life, how that differs from how he was years ago. And it's in conflict with him as a performing singer-songwriter who tours and goes all over the place and is on TV at all these neat, cool places, but yet all he wants to do is be at home. So if that sounds like it interests you, which it did me, I think that you're going to enjoy Ed Sheeran, the sum of it all. So for a quick review of that, I hope you got something out of it. Go watch it. It's a great one. Bradley, I hope if you're an Ed Sheeran guy, which I think we've talked about him before, I think that you at least appreciate him, even if you don't, wait outside to get every one of his albums as they drop. Does anybody even do that anymore? Everything just shows up on your phone the day that it releases. So for what it's worth, go check it out. I know that I enjoyed it. I hope that you do. And as we do with all of this, whether we're going to the parks like Bradley has done recently or watching Disney Plus, we're just looking to find a bit of how we connect in the world that makes us feel better, because you don't want to grow up too fast, but you got to keep exploring.